Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Last time we did the first part of the second day of the trial. Found out how Memoirs' little disappearing act was done. And kind of just confirmed that she is indeed a suitable, whatchamacallit, witness for the crime. Today, well, let's try to imitate real life and put a killer cop in prison. Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Memoirs' performance? Why was she in that air vent? Oh, why she was in that air vent. And that switch in the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Phoenix. Ah, Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Not really. Damn. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Maki Tobe off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Daryan Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things, the flaming guitar too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed sin of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh my god, he's telling me to cheat. Ugh! Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa. Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy. Right. This. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Who planted those? That's the only thing I can think of. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Daryan Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door, just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean? Think this was some kind of firecracker? Yeah, or one of those noisemakers. Like you shoot off on New Year's. Did you know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil? So it's kind of the same thing. Really? I had no idea. Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. At least my useless fact has something to do with the evidence. Not really, no. I mean, yeah, it was relevant to the evidence, but it doesn't, like, matter in the grand scheme of things. Just saying there, bud. Okay. Let's go. Okay, I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess we're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Why is my throat scratchy today? Okay. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He, Daryan, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead. Oh, he's such a nice guy. I worked with him for so many years. Like, oh well. You don't know what he does in his free time, my dude? Very well, call the final witness to the stand. Detective Daryan Crescent. Name and occupation, please. Daryan Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who don't know. Well, things are falling into place, and I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. Situation's changed, Daryan, and don't call me partner. Feh. So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Daryan. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial. Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Memoirs' testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Well, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Borginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Daryan's rebuttal. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. So you claim Memoirs' testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just 'cause she's blind. You go too far, Daryan. Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. Can't do this with Lamar's testimony alone. Have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Alright, Daryan's rebuttal. You never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots as if. Didn't Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? Who said they're gunshots, my dude? Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes, we heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. Heh. I guess you and Lamar got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Maki heard them too. Remember, he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them. So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? Well, I guess we present that here. Objection! Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? Remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. Oh. It wasn't staged evidence, then. If he knows about them. Oh, okay. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning, before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Daryan as a witness in today's trial. Just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. Haha! You got an active imagination, don't you? You shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha! That's right. Daryan was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How'd he know someone was backstage right then? The firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear. You get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? Irk. How do I explain this? You may not look it, but Daryan is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. You may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? He is leading the shit out of us in this trial. You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Feh. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Daryan. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why now I turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, Can you prove the crime took place during the second act? Yeah, I think. Better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. Make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony, if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. Heh, you ready, kid? 'Cause I am. Shouldn't took place during the second set? If you're sure, let's see your proof. Okay, let's press on this. But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been... What? Some kind of setup? I've heard that one before. I need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears. Maybe the gunshots are the key after all. What do you mean? Well, Memoirs says she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion when she was up above the ceiling. When she forgot the words to the song, yeah. If you can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I think. True. Not easy, but true. There's some way to prove that. You're just supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussions during cross-examination, Mr. Justice. You're right, Your Honor. Sorry. So let me take a quick look through the court record. Basically our entire case. This is tough, so what do we do? Got a few ideas. Need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did. So I have an idea. I'm doing something here. Wow. You hear it. You actually hear it.
Objection!
It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Memoirs' song. Her song. What exactly is this device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this. Don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately. Lamar's voice included. Oh, what does this prove? According to Lamar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ha! Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Daryan? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Memoirs' headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now. Memoirs stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot now, find the gunshots. I mean, I just did this, but, you know, okay. How do I present? How do... Like, how do I... Oh, I just present the vocal track? Okay. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Memoirs' vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamar's testimony was true. Grah. Order! So she was telling the truth about what she heard? The other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. Just after that, there was a gunshot. Then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why do we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamar was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? He's sweating. Once again I am reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance? Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Hair Forehead. What is it today? Problem at the problem. Achtung! My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Some guitar? It was you, Daryan. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's .45 caliber hand cannon. As we have heard or learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with the revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his plane was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Ha, you're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. Standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon. Much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. I thought we were playing Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, not Clavier Gavin. I forgot his first name for a moment. Attorney at Law. Speaking of which, I should really stream our LP Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law one day. It's a good game. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves Rolled Up Ready for Action has to say. Hey, you, attorney. Oh my god. Why is his voice killing me? I've done raspy before. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Alright, proof of innocence. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. Crap, the bracelet isn't going off. Press. But that's the same for Maki. No motive was proven for him. Come on. He traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. Ugh. More than I sure did. I mean, think about it. But your international affairs, my dude. Her manager, sure, but Mr. Latouche was... Oh, right. Sorry, an Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? And not a very good one, seeing as how he got wasted. That's cold, dawg. Not that it matters either way. See, I had no reason to kill the man, whatever he was. Daryan, you're a detective with international affairs? Yeah, what of it? Even if this was Mr. Latouche's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert. Huh? Or don't you take any international trips into international affairs? That's right. Well, Detective Crescent? That's your game, is it? Guess I better confess then. Confess? Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas. What? But you're an international... See, me and Plains got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much. My condolences, Herr Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside the country. I can guarantee it. As it turns out, my division's plenty of work to do locally as well. That's so unfair. So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert? Fraternize? Ha! I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see... Didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? You sure about that? What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget who you're accusing of what. Herr Forehead, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So he's using this motive question as ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. If you didn't know him, why would you want to kill him? Maybe you saw a pretty, a pretty convincing replica of something that is priceless.
Objection!
Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. Cocoon? So one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. Well, that's news. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's exports. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. Totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You can't sneak up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. Just press on everything. Yeah, bracelet's not going off. Oh, he's good. That memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them. Well, Memoir knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export. That's all. Then, I have nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You could say people like me who knew about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter, yeah. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche. All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that... But then that could just mean that Interpol was doing the same thing to him. Or to Maki, because Maki can't leave the... return to Borginia. Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother will want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe if you could get them to cut his hair, too. Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. National affairs, you know the deal. Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off on international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to... You just kind of proved your point there, though, like... saying there's no loopholes. What do you think we are, Boy Scout? That... What? So you're saying you're not goody two-shoes? But okay. Down, Daryan. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Borginian customs are all watching. See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. Why, I oughta... Oughta what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to this. His motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. I didn't know this was on the back. Sample. Sample, huh? Think they put a big enough label on it? Used to keep people from eating it by mistake. Yes, they might think it was an otherwise tasty white lump of plastic. Used to manufacture sample toys. You can't afford the real thing. Sounds like a company Mr. Wright would like. Or maybe we need to prove to him that there is a market. Oh my god. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for your incuritis. Incuritis? Heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha. Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't sane. Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are sane. The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life. But even if the deal went through, why'd it be an international scandal? That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about it, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well? Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Brigadium Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. And if there's a way to get cocoons out there, I'd sure like to know. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows. Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them. That's right, Gavin was in Virginia, wasn't he? I remember setting off the metal detector several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Here's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmerous fop. Glimmerous fop. Emma's rubbing off on him. That's pretty extreme. Virginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security. The Republic of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country. So this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's the situation. Cocoons out there, I'd sure like to know. You're in position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I would be interested in hearing. Purely from a legal perspective, of course. I weep for our judicial system. Same, though. The replica has to be the key to this motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to. Gonna go out on the limb here? Because, you know, she goes on tour, so they might be able to get it through with him. Or with her, rather, and because Latouche is with them and they might know he's an Interpol agent, like, obviously they would have to be working with customs. So, security on him would be lax because they would think, oh, he can see everything. Objection! Shoot. Okay. I see what time it is. Just a safety save. Alright, well, that doesn't work either. I'm just throwing shit at the wall now. That's not good. I was on a roll. I was on a roll. Or maybe it's the fact that it's a fake one. He wouldn't, like, there'd be no way to, like, determine if one is real or not, but, like, if you see it from far away, you're like, I don't care the method that they got it out. They got it out. That must be the real deal. I can kill him to get my hands on it. So maybe... Okay, I need to actually stop fooling around. The frick? Because I was thinking about this as like someone from Borginia, so... But he said everyone and everything gets checked, right? Yeah. So Customs would have caught a guitar being sent out. So it can't be that. Wait, because he made that song with her while he was in Borginia. And then when she went on, like, started going on tour, that's when Latouche showed up. Did they know? Objection! Oh my god. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. Oh, that's not where I thought we were going with this. Oh, okay. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Memoirs. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. This guitar is from Borginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Memoirs' studio. There's a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. Oh, so that would supersede actual, like, customs, because he was an asshole and used his own connections to get, like, just like something for personal use delivered to him. Pristine and untouched. I forgot all about the vacuum pack thing. I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin. That guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory here, forehead. Yeah, memory I forgot about. What the frick? Guitars have a round hole in the front, and it's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact... They were trying to get rid of the evidence. They were trying to burn the guitar so that nobody would know. An igniter. Exactly. Consider this, if you will. So that means... Would the magician have been an accomplice? What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. Ah! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yar. Order! 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 Wait, was Daryan with him? No, but he said that Daryan never left the country. So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. Precaution? Ah, hair forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Memoirs ballad, if you please. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock of my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar will raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. I was trying to see if you could hear the gunshot, but the other, instruments cover it up. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch, now. The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died. Vidlem are there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man! Detective Crescent! I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Daryan. Republic of Burguinia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha, let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Burgundian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lemoir heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch. Now. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it. The coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Yep. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. Be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. Pick up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? Oh, this is easy. What's over here? Oh, Valent. Yeah, screw him. But yeah. It was Maki. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Maki Tobe. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. For the murder trial. Not for the smuggling trial. A defense attorney accusing his client, that's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Burgundian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Memoir? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamar was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at this stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, seems that Lamar still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar Serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamar stand-in were on there. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamar's position in the air vent. What? Oh, to burn the guitar. Okay. I get it. Ah! Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective? Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time. Huh? Oh, well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. There was a flash in there. Too bad, so sad. Punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? Problem isn't in what we see, correct, Daryan? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter. That right? Yes? Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah. How's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. Memoir? But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well? Oh, that's a guitar. Yeah, they're not wrong. It's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. But also, wasn't the switch found in the piano? Oh, retreat on stage. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Maki Tobei didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Maki Tobei the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Maki's not the accomplice, then their whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. Just a safety save. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you'd better find a way to prove it. Arg. What do I do? What do I do? It has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. It was just something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? You come up with something, Mr. Justice? I remind you that everything rests on this. He proved Maki Tobei pressed that switch. Let's hear your final answer. He proved that Maki Tobei pressed that switch. Let's go for it. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Hair forehead, you're sure about this? Ha! Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. And what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch? Gavin was leading us. It has to be on the mixing board. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Air piano being played. But, doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Maki could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. Yeah, exactly. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with 1 hand or 2? Bring a piano in and have him play it. You can't. I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with 1 hand. How do you know that? Clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No. No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with 1 hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Like he was definitely playing 1-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. There is a weird note in there. Right there. Because the first time he hits that note, there's like a backing thing. I guess I present that part. That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin? It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding. I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. Suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. The claimed defendant was playing with 1 hand when the switch was pressed. Show us the part that proves it. Yeah. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Hair Forehead. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. I thought it was just the fact that, like, a note sounded flat. It was like, "Dun!" But, no. Okay. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? And I mean, always, like, a verse is going to sound like the same. 9 times out of 10, you know. Unless you're doing some, like, alternative music or your Death Grips or something. Another section? Guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot. In the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." Play verse 2 again. There. Did you hear that? They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. What's that prove? I would think you know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Daryan. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. I asked yourselves why Maki changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. An arc! Order! Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though personally this comes as a terrible disappointment. Heh. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Very well, barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Heh. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Hair Forehead? Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. Afraid your case doesn't cut it. But, 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion. Without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if he did, we already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? Truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It'd be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Daryan Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. We'll be able to press him further by conventional means. Gotta find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So can I get back to work now or what? May look like I got a lot of time on my hands. But I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes. Good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plane has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. I'm just going to do a safety save. No, game. Go for it, Apollo. What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Hair forehead. You are accusing this man, Daryan Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Daryan Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Daryan Crescent's plan is... I don't know. What? I mean, they gave me an option to call a witness. I don't... Well, conventional means... So then maybe I would have to call a witness. Get him to say it? Oh, 'cause they don't know he speaks English. So we could get him on... Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean, a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Daryan Crescent's guilt? The one person who can prove Daryan Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Maki Tobe. Your client. Again. Maki Tobe was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Daryan Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? Required is one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon will leave a particular residue. The residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Aha! Very scientific of you. That's not what I was thinking, but okay. then could I have just presented the burnt guitar? Thus, if Maki Tobe acknowledges his agreement with Daryan Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved. Heh. Daryan's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? Your little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law. Ah! Yeah, see? Our pianist really was a smuggler. And testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Maki doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Maki admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but if Maki doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Maki Tobe. Cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Maki Tobe knows everything. Oh, I thought we were going to get him on the technicality that, like, he wouldn't know English. Like, the only people who would know that are people who dealt with him directly. Like Daryan! But okay. There's only one way out of it for him. And that's to acknowledge his own crime. Crime of cocoon smuggling. So then he'll just never return home. Heh. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please. Don't... What the frick? Don't talk. So extra. Daryan? I consider that my last session with you. V rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Heh. Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk. You tell this court everything. I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning. I knew. Maki. Situation. I cannot explain, but money. I need it. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is a golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Maki Tobe? Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And, with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Maki Tobei, not guilty. Yeah! Court is adjourned. I wonder what'll happen to Maki. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Memoir? Is something wrong? I'm sorry. Maki was your partner on stage. Your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him. Something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Memoir lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that, if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? That's right. She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you. I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamoir. Oh, you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. My secret mission, that is. Right. Your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet. Me too. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, Guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have him catch the killer at the end. Ha 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 ha, funny. So what secret mission is Phoenix on? Turnabout Succession. Well, we'll get started on that next time. Sorry if it seemed like I was sort of rushing the reading up there on the end. Running pretty low on space, so yeah, I'm just going to try to hurry up and wrap this up so that, you know, everything can be fine. So yeah, next time we start Turnabout Succession. Woo! Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I mean, hey, at least I managed to convict Daryan. I mean, I thought for sure we were going to go one way with having Maki or picking him for that one, but I guess we went another way. Oh well, all's well that ends well. But yeah, I'm out. Goodbye, and see you next time for a new chapter. Woo!